Hi there, welcome back to the Lazy Question Show, where I pick one of your questions and answer you in an Autocad video. As always, if you want to send your question, you can write it in any of our video comments, or you can send me an email to Irving at lazyarquitecto.com. So before we start with today's question, I want to, and of course, before I start reading some of your comments, I want to say thank you to our friends that support our work, either in YouTube as a YouTube member or as a Patreon. Thank you very much for believing on what we do, right? Which is trying to save you a little bit of time working in Autocad. So let me start reading some of your comments before we jump to the presentation, which again, I'm gonna pick one of your questions and I'm gonna do an entire live stream. So we have Francis on the chat. Hello, Francis. Finally, you are here on our live streams. I know you were telling me a couple of days ago that you want to be here. I'm glad that you make it today. Hopefully, this video is going to be helpful to you. So welcome aboard, Francis. Let's see over here. We have Jeff on the chat. Jeff says, good day to all. Hi, Jeff. How are you? Hope you're doing great. You missed last week's live stream, I believe, right? But I'm glad you are back. Our friend Douglas is on the chat. Says, good morning, all. Good morning, my friend Douglas. I'm happy to have you here again in another live stream where I'm gonna pick a question and hopefully we can help one of you guys, right? So our friend Douglas says, good morning, Irving. Good morning, Douglas. We have 4 people connected so far. That's great that more folks are joining. Francis says, how to eliminate a text border in Autocad. Eliminate a text border. I think you're talking about a frame, right? So let's see, let me jump into AutoCAD really quick to answer that question, because I think I can answer that question really quick. Let's see. All right, let me open a drawing for Francis. I think Francis is talking about, let's see, how to eliminate a text border. I think you're talking about a frame. So if we go to a properties, right? If we open our properties tab, a text can have a frame. Under the properties, you might have it as yes. That's what you're talking about. And then of course, to eliminate it, you can simply go ahead and change the text frame from the properties palette to no. So yeah, hopefully I answered your question, Francis. And before we start today's presentation, I have another comment on the chat. Let's see over here. It's our friend Harun. Hi, Harun. Welcome aboard. Because you are new, I believe. Didn't see you on our past live streams, but that's great that either YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn are recommending our live streams to more and more folks. So we are 6 people connected live. That's great that you are here with me. We're going to learn something awesome in AutoCAD. We're going to help a friend also with a question, and hopefully that question is going to also be beneficial to you, right? So good day, says Harun. Francis says, meaning a text inside a hatch region. Okay, so that's a different question. Says I'm meaning a text inside a hatch region. So yeah, I know what you're referring to, Francis. When you have that issue, what you can do is there is an option on the ribbon where you can pick remove boundary, and then if you click that option, of course selecting the hatch, right, you go to the ribbon, you say remove boundary, and then you select your text, and that will help you eliminate that frame around your text when using it in a hatch. So yeah, so remove boundary, that's the option that you need from the ribbon, Francis. All right, so if there are no more questions or comments so far, we're gonna start today's live stream. So let me get ready over here. And as always, you can interrupt me at any time, right, during my presentation with your questions, your ideas, because I want to make this live stream very interactive, right? Otherwise, like I always say, I will just do a regular video, right? A regular recorded video. So, okay, Francis says, thanks, I got it now. Yeah, Francis, happy to help you. All right, so we're gonna start then today's presentation. But before, we have a comment on the chat is Drakate. Drakate, I think you're new also. That's great. More and more folks are finding our live stream somehow, right? I didn't do anything different. Maybe, like I was saying, either YouTube is recommending it to more people, or Facebook or LinkedIn, who knows? But I'm glad that every Sunday at 10 a.m. we are more and more people now. So Drakate says, hopefully I'm pronouncing it right. How do you know how big the text to use for paper space and printouts like A1, etc.? That's such a great question, Drakate, especially when you are learning AutoCAD, right? I remember at school, we didn't, they didn't teach us actually that specific question, right? We will have to randomly change the size of our text or annotations just to, feel it if it's the right size. But then after you go to the profession, then that's where you realize that no, there are certain standard sizes and heights that you need to follow to have more professional drawings, right? So let me show you the video where you can learn that, Drakate, because we already solved that specific question. So let me see if I can find it over here. So I'm gonna go to, let's see, I'm gonna go to my YouTube channel, of course. Put it over here so you can see it, Drakate. And the video that will answer your question is, let's see over here. Let's see if I can find it really quick. Otherwise, I'll maybe pin it in a comment. Let's see. It's a video that I said how to. Yeah, I think I'll find it and pin it on the comments. Oh, here we go. Here's the video that you need, Drakate. Says text heights in AutoCAD finally explained. So that's the video. What text size? And again, it's following some standard practices, right? For instance, for construction documents, the size, you can pick either 3/32 of an inch or 1/8. That would be the standard size. But again, watch that video and probably it's gonna help you with that question. All right. Okay, so let me jump to the presentation. And that was a good question, Drakate. Right. Okay. So let's see over here. Let me get ready on my second screen. Okay. So now let's get into today's lazy question. This question was sent by Marco that says, "Hi, can you please help me? I'm having issue with hatching in Autocad. The program just freezes when I try to hatch. I even tried the Purge command," and that was our friend Marco. So Marco, hopefully we can help you with this live stream, and hopefully this question can help to all of you folks as well. So Marco sent me his file, and his file is right here. Let's open that up to see how we can help Marco. Let's open that up. And he has a beautiful drawing right here. So what do you think, guys, about this drawing? Looks nice, right? But I know that's not the problem or the question. But let's see. We have a couple of questions on the chat. We are looking right now at Marco's drawing that he's having the problem about hatching, right? So that's today's question, and hopefully your question can be picked, right, for our next lazy question show. But before we proceed, we have a couple of comments that I like to read. And Dracate says, "Sure, thanks. No problem, Dracate." Walking on Sunshine says, 15 megabytes, that's why. Rachel, hello Rachel, happy you make it today. As always, right, you are one of you, Douglas, and I think it's Jeff also. You guys are always keeping up with the live streams. That's great that you are always each Sunday here with me. That's a great observation, walking on sunshine, and that's what we're gonna figure it out today, right? So Rachel says, "What's in there? That's 15 megabytes." Yes, you're right. That's a good observation. What Rachel is saying. So we can see right here the size of the drawing. So yeah, that's a huge size for an AutoCAD file, and that might be the root of the problem, right? Usually a regular drawing, it's between 400 to maybe 800 or 900 kb, but this is double that. And if you take a look at the drawing, you don't really have as much geometry to have that such a big file, right? So good observation by Rachel. Douglas says, "Rachel, how are you?" Mobile Legend says, "I'm just quietly watching you, my idol, but I'm present." That's great, Mobile Legends, that you are here. You make it today also to the live streams. And that's a good way that you comment, right? Because if you guys don't write a comment in the live streams, there is no way for me to know who is present, right? I can only see the number of people, which is 8 right now, live, 8 people. But again, if you don't put a comment, there's no way for me to know that, hey, you are present. But thank you, Mobile Legends, for being present. Astro Architect. Hey, Astro Architect, I think you are new also. Says, "Hi, I watch a lot of videos of your and like your speech style. And like your, I'm not professional and to the, oh, sorry, it's a little hard to read this. I'm gonna try it again. Hi, I watched a lot of videos of yours, and I like your speech style. And I'm not professional and I know 2D. Is this a stream about 2D or 3D? So Astro Architect, welcome aboard again because you are new to the show. I didn't see you before, but that's great that you are here. We show up here each Sunday, if you don't know, at 10 a.m. and that is Pennsylvania in the United States time. Anyway, so yeah, I'm glad that you watch many of our videos and finally you make it into our live streams, right? But you're asking about 2D or 3D. So mostly we do 2D here in this channel, right? For a 3D, what I do is I utilize a different program, right? I like to, what I think is try to use the tool for the specific job, right? AutoCAD is very useful to do construction documents, production drawings, and so on. But if you want to make like a 3D drawing, then that's where I start looking into another programs, maybe like Revit or any other 3D program. So that's an opinion that I have. So yeah, hopefully I answered your question, Astro. Walking on sunshine, it looks like 2D Astro. Astro says, yes, I'm first time here. What's on? Ooh, Jeff says, what is on his ABC tabs in Paperspace? Good question, Jeff. Let's go back to the presentation and let's inspect what is on the tabs, right? Let's see. That's an elevation. And B, we have, well, it looks like that's the hatch patterns that he used, the Marco used. We have a different elevation here. Nothing and nothing over here. So yeah, so let's go back to the issue that Marco was having, right, Jeff? Good question though. And the issue was hatching. So Marco didn't specify exactly what area he was hatching, but I'm gonna guess he was hatching, his facade, his building facade, something around here. Because of course, if you just hatch a regular box or rectangle, that won't give you problems. But let's try to hatch this area over here. So I'm gonna hatch that, something like a solid hatch, and let's click on it. And as you can see, it's taking a lot of time, and also it's giving me an error. So yeah, that's what the problem is. Again, trying to hatch a facade, which is a very common area to use a hatch pattern, right? All right, so we kind of discovered the problem. Let's try some solutions, and let's go jump to the size of the drawing, right? As Rachel was saying. So in order to reduce the size, let's try to purge it, right? Even though Marco says that he already tried the purge command, I'm gonna try it also, and let's do it together, right? Purge. So, and we will have the purge dialog box. So over here, make sure all items are checked, and then I'm gonna say purge all, right? So I'm gonna say purge all checked items like so, and then I'm finally gonna hit close. So let's go back to Marco's drawing folder or file, which is right here. And nothing really happened. Why? Because we still need to do an extra step, which is save the file, right? To see the changes. So I'm gonna use the Control S on my keyboard to kind of save my drawing. And let's go back and open or check the file. And as we can see, So Purge kind of worked, right? We can see immediately that the size of the file decreased from 15,000 to about 8,000, right? Which is almost half. So Purge command is working, but let's try to hatch again. Before we try to hatch, we have a comment on the chat. And it's our friend Dropout Engineer. Says, hello sir, hello Dropout Engineer, I'm happy you are here today with us, looking at this drawing from our friend Marco, because today we are answering a lazy question, a problem that this folk is having. Right, so let's keep moving. And right, so all we did was purge the drawing. Let's see if when we hatch now, there is no problem, right? So I'm going to use the hatch command, hatch this area, and again, it's taking a little bit of time. So I see that Marco was telling us the truth, right? Which is he tried the purge command, still didn't work. We try it and we are seeing that still is taking time or to load. So what we can do next is then try the next step, which is sometimes even though we might have, let's say we might have some open gaps over here and there, right? We could try to use the hatch command with the options of gap tolerance, right? We can try that out. But most of the time what happens when you are unable to hatch is that the lines or objects are on different planes. So I'm talking about the Z value, So in order to correct this and make sure that all of our lines and geometry are on one plane, right? We can use the flatten command. So that's what the next thing I'm going to try, flatten, right? So this is a very handy command to, again, make sure that all of my objects are flat in one plane. So let's try that out for Marco. And I'm going to select all of these and press enter. So over here, remove hidden lines. I will say no. I don't want to mess up with the drawing. So I'm going to say no. And let's keep it a couple of minutes. And let's see if you have any questions, right? What do you think about this hatch problem? Is it very common? Have you faced this problem before? Let me know in the chat or in the comments. All right, so it looks like Autocad did its thing. And let's try to hatch it again. So what I'm going to do to hatch it now is use the zoom command really quick to hatch into that specific, or zoom into that specific area that I want to hatch, which is right here. So let's try to use the hatch command again. Gonna use the hatch, and let's see if we can somehow get it to work now. So it's doing its thing. Again, it's taking some time, but hey, here we go. It did the trick. Using the flatten command kind of helped to maybe change all of the geometry to one plane, right? So here we go, guys. What do you think about how we were able to solve Marco's problem of the hatch? So we purged the drawing and we kind of did all of these steps. So if we go back to Marco drawing over here, which is so I saved a copy, right, just in case. Where is it? It's right here, the 1500 the 15,000 kV drawing. So I'm going to open that up just to do a final inspection. So we can see that if we select a line or a polyline and open our properties, we can see that we have a comment on the chat. Let me first jump to the chat. And it's our friend Jeff. Jeff says, any suggestion? I have AutoCAD 2024 LT and do not have the flatten command available. That's a great question, Jeff. I didn't know that flatten command is not available on AutoCAD LT. Yeah, I didn't know that because I use the full version of AutoCAD, the one that I'm using right now, right? So let me erase this then and give you another technique that you might use if you don't have the flatten command. So great question, Jeff. So the technique that you can try is, or the trick, right? Because this is kind of a trick, is you can draw a line, a regular line, and try to divide your area, right? So try to divide the area that you need to hatch. So this way, let's hatch now. This way, when you hatch one area, like so, you can continue hatching the next area. And then if you, let's give it a couple of minutes. So that's a technique that you can use. Divide the area that you're gonna hatch into two. Sometimes that helps, sometimes it doesn't, but you can give that a try, my friend Jeff. So if it's not working, you might try to draw your line horizontally instead of vertical. But that's a technique that I use sometimes and it worked for me, especially if you don't have the flatten command, right? So that was a good question from Jeff. Let's see if there are more questions. So try that out, Jeff. Draw a line to divide your area, either vertical or horizontal, and then that might help you to hatch your area. So let's see if there are more questions or comments. We have 10 people connected so far. That's great. So let me now jump to the comments. Let me jump to the chat now to see what do you think about today's lazy question. That was an interesting question from Marco, right? And it's a very common problem. So hopefully we were able to help him and also help you, right? With when you face this problem, you're gonna know how to solve it. Walking on Sunshine says, question to Marco. What point do you think drawing in Z-axis was a good idea, and when were you going to tell me? I think Rachel is being sarcastic here, or fine. Or you're being serious, Rachel. I don't think Marco is here today, Rachel. I don't know. Marco, are you here today? Maybe you are, but you didn't write any comments, so that's why we don't know. But we are 12 people connected so far live. That's awesome. I'm very happy for that. And to go back to your comment, Rachel, I don't think Marco did it intentionally. Most of the time what happened is, you know, you might reuse a drawing. You might save as a drawing from a coworker or from somebody else. And if there is only one line that it's not drawn correctly, then that's where you start snapping from that line to keep or finish your drawing, and then that's where everything start, you know, getting very disorganized. And like you were saying, most of the items are on the Z-axis, which in 2D you don't want that, right? You want all of your objects on the same plane. And that's the problem, right? When hatching, AutoCAD recognizes that your objects are not on the correct plane. So yeah, new trick acquired. Thank you, Idle. I'm glad that you found this useful, Mobile Legends. And by the way, we have an entire video also on hatching tricks, I believe. So if you have time, you can check that out later after this live stream. Jeff says, thank you. Yes, Jeff. Rachel says, I am being sarcastic. Rachel says, yes, we are back to the beginner mistakes. Yeah, guys, so hopefully, again, we helped our friend Marco, right? That's what we do these lazy question shows. We have 4 so far, I believe, right? So let's see. Yeah, I think we have 4 so far. See how many lazy questions we have. Let's see. So we go here. There is a playlist, I believe, for that. See. AutoCAD lazy questions. So we have 3. We have helped 3 people so far with their questions. With this one would be 4. You can check that out later if you have time. So let's see if we have more comments to wrap up today's live stream, right? Our friend Mobile Legend says, sometimes when it doesn't really want to hatch, I use a painful way of making a polyline to set boundary. Then I hatch using select objects instead of picking inside. Got you on Mobile Legends, I think. Yeah, I mean, that's a painful way of doing it, like you're saying it. And of course, when we start in AutoCAD, we kind of do it that way, right? Because we don't know a better way. But you know, after using AutoCAD for years, you kind of develop many techniques or tricks that you can follow to save time, right? That's the entire goal. You don't want to be wasting time, right? Drawing. You want to have fun. You don't want to suffer or being stressed. So our friend Jeff has the Lisp functionality now. Joy. Yeah, I mean, if you guys didn't know, AutoCAD LT 2024 now have the ability to use Autolisp or Lisp functions or programs, right? And that's a way to create tools that the regular AutoCAD doesn't have, right? For instance, tools like how to isolate all of your text. There is no a command to isolate all of your text in your drawing. Well, we can create that with an Autolisp. We actually created it with a macro. So we have a video also for that. Let's see. Astro says, can you tell how can we decrease or increase door arc in dynamic door block? Like if rotate door at any angle, then arc also should be shrink or increase accordingly. Oh, so our Astro Architect, you're referring to a dynamic block door, right? That you can scale the door, and of course the arc will also scale. We already did that video on Astro, and let me help you find it really quick. Hopefully I can find it. Let's see. Okay, so the video that you need, Astro, it's lazy blocks. So that's the playlist, and the video is this one right here. Autocad dynamic block door with visibility, stretch, and move actions. That's where I show up how we can achieve the scaling of the arc, right? So when you stretch the door, it will follow, or it will also increase. So yeah, take a look at that video, and hopefully that will answer your question, my friend Astro Architect. All right, so if there are no more questions, I think we're gonna stop right here and start thinking on our next live stream, right, for next Sunday at 10 a.m. And hopefully, I mean, we have plenty of topics but I still don't know which topic are we doing next week. But what do you guys think? Should we create a dynamic block, or do you want me to create a macro command, or maybe do a very basic AutoCAD tutorial for beginners? So what do you think, guys? Now is your chance to speak out. So our friend Douglas says, is next week a Zoom? That's a good question, my friend Doug. Let me see. No, Doug. The Zoom meetings are by the last Sunday of each month, right? What our friend Doug is referring to is the CAD meetings that we do with our members and our patrons. So a CAD meeting is basically in a professional office or environment. Everybody join in a meeting and talk about AutoCAD, talk about CAD, architecture or engineering or anything related to the profession, and have fun, right? So that's what we do, these CAD meetings on Zoom. But Douglas, to answer your question, no, because the next Sunday is the 16th, and we will have our CAD meeting. The last Sunday would be July 30, Douglas. But thank you. Thank you, Doug. And Walking on Sunshine, or Rachel says, macro for me. Oh, you love macros, Rachel? So yeah, we can do a macro. We have plenty of macros so far. Over here under the lazy macros playlist, we have probably more than 20, 25 or something like that. And for people who don't know, macros is a way to create a custom command that can quickly perform any operation in AutoCAD, right? Like I was saying, there is no command in AutoCAD, a regular command to isolate all of your annotations. There's no. So that's why we create a quick macro, and that way we can have this tool to achieve what I just said. It says, what time on every Sunday, is asking our friend Astro. Each Sunday at 10 a.m. we are here, Astro, and of course the time is the United States time, and specifically Pennsylvania. That's the state where I am. So some of you guys are also here, like Douglas is in New Jersey, I believe. Rachel is in, oh, I forgot. Sorry, Rachel. I think you are in another country. I know Jeff is also from the US, I'm forgetting, guys. Francis says, let's create more macro commands. Yeah, macros are very useful. I use it all the time. I use a macro to quickly print my drawings, quickly PDF my drawings. Just one click, boom, my PDF is ready. One click, Boom, my drawing is printed. I use macros for almost everything. The only time when I don't use a macro is when it cannot be achieved. So then I jump into Lisp or Autolisp, right, to create a tool. But otherwise, a quick macro will make it. So Douglas says, I'm not on computer with my schedule. Jeff Wellington says, macro, come on. Well, it looks like everyone wants a macro command for next Sunday. I think that's what we're gonna do, guys. Douglas says, awesome. Macro to do the whole job. Macro to do the whole job. Douglas says UK. Oh, Douglas, who's on UK? You're not on UK. You're in New Jersey. Who's in UK? Douglas says Rachel is in Scotland. Here we go. Sorry, Rachel. The promised land. I didn't know Scotland was the promised land. Sorry. Jeff is in Tampa. Oh, that's Florida, right, Jeff? Yeah, you told me that. You told us to everyone, but I forgot. Yeah, Tampa. Rachel in UK. Rachel, are you in UK or Scotland? Or I'm confused. Anyway, where are you from? I'm from Kenya. Says Francis. Francis, I am originally from Peru in South America, right? That's where I was born. I came to the US when I was 21 years old. So yeah, so that's why I speak Spanish also, right? ¿Alguien habla español aquí? Alemitu Etafa says, Alem, Australia. Alemitu, glad you write a comment because now I know you are here, right? I didn't know you were on the live stream, but I'm glad you are here. I know there are some folks that, you know, they show up in the live stream, but they don't comment. That's okay. But like I was saying, there is no way for me to know that you are here if you don't comment. But glad that Etafa says, Alem, Australia. Whoa, what time is in Australia, Etafa? Hopefully I'm pronouncing it right. I don't know if it's Etafa or Etafa. Douglas says, same. Oh, it's the same? Oh, wow. Scotland is part of the UK. Oh, great. Okay, gotcha. All right, guys. It was nice to chat with you today. It was awesome that you guys are more creating a more interactive show now, right? Before, on our past live streams, it was more about me just talking and presenting and talking. But now, you know, it's better to read your comments, answer your questions, and kind of do the entire live stream together, right? Instead of just doing it myself. Astro says, it's nice to join you today, first time. Felt good vibes. I'm from India. Wow, that's great. We have India, we have UK, we have US, we have Kenya. What else? Yeah, wow, that's great. So many people from all over the world. Tampa, where I'm melting right now, it's hot for the next 4 months. Yeah, I saw the news, Jeff. Wow. Here, I mean, the weather here, it's okay. Not bad. So I'm happy. Etafa says 12:50 Wow, 12:50, and that is in Australia. Okay. Here in the US, it's almost 11 a.m. But that's good at Tampa. Well, all have a great week. Stay safe, says our friend Duke. Have a good weekend. What's left of it? I had a hitting on yesterday. All right, guys, I'm gonna stop right here with 10 people live. Was nice to have you here, and hopefully I'll see you next Sunday at 10 a.m.